Now, I know you love to hear about pervasive problems in philosophy that hide out in simple bugs and simple words. Well, I got one for you today. Uh, this is such a simple word that you can be like, What do you mean? How could that be confusing? How could that cause problems in philosophy?" And I'll show you. So the word is can or could. And you might think, well, that's ridiculous. That's a word that we use all the time. It is very familiar to us. And when we see it in a philosophical paper, you're saying that that's supposed to throw a red flag? That's crazy, right? It's all over. It's not crazy because there are many distinct philosophical meanings of the word can. So, as an exercise, let's bullet list this thing. Uh, so, the first one is well, let's use the sentence I can't hurt a fly. Okay. So I can't hurt a fly might mean that my will, who I am, and my interests and my preferences, my affinities, my cares, will never be in league with hurting a fly. And therefore, I can't do it because in order to do something, you gotta want to do it, right? And in this case, could is would. They're kind of equivocal. Like we say I can't hurt a fly, but what we mean is, oh, my mind, my will won't. It won't allow me to, right? So I'm fettered by this internal interest that I have. And oftentimes that's what we mean by can't. We just mean that we won't because there's something that's so innate to us, so core to us, so essential to us that's just not compatible with even doing that action. But that's not the only sense it's used, of course, because there's also the sense of physical incapability. So even if I really want to hurt that fly, maybe I have a condition where I don't have the strength to do so. There's a fly buzzing around and I can't get to it, so I can't hurt a fly. Same sentence as far as the string characters go, totally different meaning, right? And here's the third one. What if I have the strength to do it and I have the will to do it, but flies are all extinct? So I can't hurt a fly because there are no flies to hurt. Now, that is a circumstantial factor that inhibits hurting flies. One might call it a physical factor or what have you, but it's a little different than something that affects me personally, right? There are flies all around and I can't hit them. But there's even a fourth meaning. And the fourth meaning is that some external factor has threatened me or added other kinds of disincentives to not hurt the fly, even though I might otherwise want to. So this one's a little tricky, but it's like, I really want to hurt that fly. But I know that if I do, my mom or something will yell at me, right? So this knowledge that your mom is going to yell at you for hurting the fly creates a disincentive within you and pits your internal interests against one another so that the one comes out on top. And so even though I would otherwise go after the fly, there's this disincentive, this artificial circumstantial disincentive that is creating conflicting desires within me. And when that happens, we say, I can't hurt a fly. Isn't that weird? I mean, it's the word can. I can't hurt a fly in all four instances, but totally different meanings across them. Yeah. Now, you might think that philosophers are careful about this, but I hope that so far in the videos that I've done and in the tweets and all the diagrams and stuff, no, you can't depend on that. You can't. And when you read these papers, you see that sometimes the meaning is hopped. Like they'll start with can in the sense of physical capability, and then they hop to the sense of can in the sense of willful acquiescence. Or they'll start with a sense of can as in willful acquiescence, but then they'll switch to can as in, oh, and everything around me allows it, permits it, right? This kind of moral permission sense of can. Like, you can't kill someone. It's like, well, I mean, you can, right? If you're physically able to. But then, you can't do that because ramifications. You can't kill someone without violating some principles or there's this abridgment that we do. And you'll find that abridgment in serious attempts at philosophy. And so I'm sorry to say it's another assignment. The next philosophy paper that you read, and you see that word can, you got to run through the bullet list and watch and see whether different senses are being equivocated and whether that is being used to hop non sequiturs for exciting conclusions that shouldn't have followed.